My name's Davina Shinsky, and the title of this program is Live Without Limits, Reach Personal Success on a Daily Basis. And we talk about personal growth, relationships, mental health, psychology, and anything that keeps you from reaching your goals in life. And today's presentation is titled, Are You Ready for Change? The Challenges and Benefits of Alternative Living. Have you ever seen a tiny house and wondered what this simpler kind of living was all about? I know I have. In fact, I've seen more and more tiny homes pop up over the last few years, piquing my interest. In my research, I've learned that alternative living is on the rise as people around the world seek intentional, sustainable lifestyles that challenge the status quo. If you're like me, you've watched the housing market rise incredibly over the past couple of years, leaving me wondering how in the world many people will ever be able to afford a home if things don't change. The good news is that from tiny houses to communes, alternative communities are sprouting up everywhere, offering individuals an opportunity to redefine their relationship with their environment, their budgets, as well as each other. Today, we'll explore the joys and challenges of alternative and intentional living by examining its advantages, such as mental and physical health benefits, self sufficiency, autonomy, creativity. I'll also discuss its potential drawbacks, such as financial uncertainty, isolation from family and friends, and adapting to unfamiliar surroundings. Hopefully, you'll be encouraged to find your own ideal living situation that works for you, whether that means completely opting out of the traditional system or simply making small changes to better serve the environment we all share. What is alternative living? Alternative living refers to a lifestyle that is different from the traditional or mainstream way of life. It includes living in intentional communities, tiny houses, RVs, old VW buses, off the grid locations. Alternative living can involve one person pretty much opting out of the larger society, committed to being on their own, or it may involve sharing resources, disconnecting from technology, eco friendly practices, and other sustainable solutions. People who choose alternative lifestyles often value feeling independent, creative, and free. They also tend to value close relationships with nature and a community of like minded individuals. Alternative living can provide individuals with the opportunity to redefine their relationship with the environment and create a more sustainable future for all generations. Benefits of alternative living. Alternative living can provide many benefits, such as improved mental and physical health, self sufficiency, feeling free, financial savings, creativity. People who choose alternative lifestyles often value the beauty of nature, which may tend or lead to fewer stress levels, resulting in lower rates of depression and anxiety. Additionally, those living off grid or in intentional communities may have access to larger plots of land, allowing them the opportunity to grow their own food. This provides them with greater levels of self sufficiency and more control over the ingredients that they consume. Challenges of alternative living. One of the primary challenges of alternative living is financial uncertainty. People who choose to live in an alternative lifestyle may not have a regular income or source of income, leading to difficulty in securing housing, food, and other resources. Additionally, due to the non traditional nature of this type of lifestyle, individuals may be unable to access traditional forms of credit or employment opportunities, which can add stress and worry. Another challenge that individuals may face is isolation and lack of community support. Those living in alternative lifestyles are often geographically separated from their family members and friends, making it difficult to access physical and emotional support when needed. So, here I'm talking more about those that decide to live in the middle or no man's land, far from the cities, family, or friends. The smallness and size can lead to difficulties forming strong social connections with the larger community. They may also find it difficult to adjust and adapt to unfamiliar environments. Living off the grid and in intentional communities requires individuals to be self reliant and problem solve in order to figure out how to best meet their needs. This is a skill which many people may not have experience developing or using. How to prepare for alternative living. Those looking to make the shift towards alternative living should take the time to research and plan ahead. It is important to understand what type of lifestyle works best with the one's specific needs and goals, as well as any potential challenges or difficulties that may come with it. Sure, you'll learn a lot along the journey, but taking time to prepare will make things easier. Individuals should explore different types of sustainable housing, transportation, energy sources, and food production systems in order to gain a better understanding of how each option might work in their particular situation. Also, when considering an alternative lifestyle, it is essential to prepare both financially as well as mentally. Financially, individuals should create a budget that takes into account all necessary costs, such as rent and mortgage, food, health care, transportation. Mentally, they should consider that if they have the necessary skills to problem solve in unfamiliar environments, as well as explore possible ways of connecting with their community and facilitating social relationships. It's also important that individuals be aware of any legal implications related to alternative living, such as zoning regulations or building codes, which could potentially limit one's ability to create a sustainable home. I'd say zoning and codes are the number one thing that the trip people up along their alternative living journey. So be sure to do your homework. Ultimately, by talking or taking the time to plan ahead for an alternative lifestyle, individuals can set themselves up for greater success and satisfaction when making the shift towards an off grid or intentional living situation. I'm fascinated with those that take the leap into the alternative living. There are undoubtedly advantages such as mental and physical health benefits, self sufficiency, autonomy, and creativity. However, there is also potential drawbacks such as financial uncertainty, isolation from family and friends, and adapting to unfamiliar surroundings. By looking at various sources covering alternative and intentional living, we can gain an understanding of the pros and cons associated with this lifestyle. Ultimately, it is important for individuals to find their own ideal living situation that works for them, whether that means completely opting out of the traditional system or simply making small changes to better serve the environment that we all share by encouraging people to explore different forms of sustainable living. We can help create a more sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about this is this. If you look back over history, many people, settlers, they had farms and they were isolated, and many of their children could not deal with that type of isolation and moved into the cities. Then in the 20th century, in the 60s, you started seeing things change and people having an interest to going back and living in communes and growing things together and sharing things. But where we are today, and with the technology, you're even seeing people, because they have computers and they can access work online, that what they're doing now is they're moving into the smaller communities and they're continuing to work for the same company by accessing the internet and working online.